Next up is Sara Graves. Sara Graves is with the Harmony Group, which is responsible, come on up, which is responsible for Earls Restaurants, among other things. Sara's responsible for the initiatives and monitoring effect program related to waste diversion, energy conservation, and water efficiency. The floor is yours.
Hi everyone, so I'm here representing Earls and Joey Restaurants and how we're using the shifting waste paradigm to focus on opportunity, profitability, and employee engagement. So as for-profit restaurant operators across Canada and into the US, we're heavily focused on cutting costs and reducing waste. So our love of food is obvious, but for us, there's a huge waste of food. And in Metro Vancouver alone, businesses, including restaurants and grocery stores, are wasting upwards of 65,000 tons of food waste. So for us, we thought, okay, what can we do now to start reducing our costs? And we looked at sort of on a broader scope, stakeholders, and sort of what their needs are and how this is shifting. So looking externally at our customers, we see that 76% of Canadians are expecting companies to operate responsibly. And internally, upwards of 90% of our employees also see the same thing. And looking at government legislation, we also see things shifting. So we've got the Zero Waste Conference, we've got changing legislation where landfills are now costing more than organics programs. So we asked ourselves some key questions. What are we best in the world at? What is our core competency as a restaurant industry? How can we thrive in what will be a very different future with all these shifting legislations and stakeholder perceptions? And what will customers' expectations be of businesses in this emerging new paradigm? So taking these things into consideration with also our love of food and our hate for waste, we introduced a composting system in 2008 at 5 test stores. What's so great about this program is that it's fundamentally no different than anything else that we were doing before in terms of waste. We've simply swapped out one bin for another bin, and our partners have the ability to throw everything from coffee filters to bones to napkins to all the food waste directly into that bin. And with the success, we decided how can we take this further. So first of all, we had to look at our key motivators and barriers. So even though the program is fundamentally easy, there also are some barriers for us. We've got 9,000 employees between Earls and Joey and over 75 locations across Canada and the US. And with turnover of almost 100%, how are we going to keep employees engaged and empowered in this program when we have other areas to focus on too in terms of training? So once we were able to figure this out, we do believe that the composting is an extremely effective way for us to boost employee morale and for also us to reduce our waste costs and improve profitability. So by now, between 2008 and 2010, we've got 18 out of our 25 stores in BC on a composting program, and we've seen diversion rates of 1.7 million pounds and total rate of over 55%. So now that we've looked at our barriers and motivators, we can also set some clear goals for ourselves. So we hope to increase this rate by 15% to get us to 70%, right where the municipal government is hoping that we will be. So future considerations, not just for our own businesses, but for others. So the strengths are the profitability and also the ease of implementation. But the bigger challenges now are us working with our suppliers to ensure that things beyond just our food waste and our napkins and paper products can go into the composting. But things like straws and other plastics that maybe right now aren't compostable, but with continued support, maybe they will be. So can anyone tell me what this is? Yeah. So if we look a little closer, so for some of us, this may look like a subway map or a line of pipes. And if we look a little closer, it's actually 1 million plastic cups, the number used by the US Airways in a 6-hour flight, in 6 hours across America. And again, if we look out again, we may not have seen this, but what's been so great about composting is that it's able us to look at our businesses as a system. So we look at things differently now. We have opportunity identification. So now when we're looking at our waste system, it's not just about composting anymore. We've removed our creamer cups. We're now recycling our oil. It's gone beyond this, and we're thinking of our business not just as a one for-profit business, but how can we use waste management as an opportunity for other things too? So now we've got waste champions at all of our stores. Our employee engagement has been through the roof. So even though waste is a huge and daunting task right now, I think it's also a huge opportunity. And with forums like this and continued information and incentives and government engagement, I think that we can be able to see this as an opportunity for change and as a place for today, hopefully some inspiration to view this as something like this. Thank you.